hate that. All right, I gotta put my game face on. This is what I do.
Are we recording? Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. Okay. And 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody. Hi, and welcome to the official Body Spartan podcast. My name is Gabe Tuft. I am the founder of Body Spartan and your host for the next hour or so. I am joined tonight by the lovely, the wonderful, the delicious, the melodious, the meditating, spiritual
First Lady of Body Spartan, Priscilla Tuft.
Yeah,
and joining us tonight,
joining us. Who?
the Supreme God, the Holy Angels, the Archangels, and the spiritual helpers of the one true God here in the house. Yes, that's a little bit different. We're talking about something a little different. And I'm sitting here sweating, wanting to run. Actually, speaking of sweating.
You're sweating because it's super fucking hot in here.
It's really hot. But can I just say, I know I threw everybody off by that intro, but we are being joined by others that we're not used to being joined by. So this whole entire episode might feel very different to you guys. And if you feel it,
Totally
say,
different, guys.
Hey, say
Totally
hey if
different,
you feel
guys.
it. But I do want to talk about sweating because there is something like really profoundly amazing that I want to share with you guys. And it is called an armpit detox. And I did that today. And
Wait,
I do
you did what?
It's an armpit detox.
Wait, what the hell's an armpit detox?
So there's this awesome stuff called bentonite clay, and I use it as a facial mask. And seriously, what women pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for, I get for like $9.99 on Amazon.com. Or this stuff I got at CVS. They had no idea where it is.
Well, hang on. So
It's
like,
called bentonite clay.
but why do you do it?
Because, well, it makes my face look like porcelain.
No.
It is the most beautiful.
Okay, I get the face thing, but why on the pits?
Okay.
Is it waxing? Do you like pull the armpit hair out or something?
No. I groom properly. And then
Well,
I put a mask
So
of
you,
this.
you shave.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I put
Properly.
kind of a mixture of bentonite clay and water on my armpits, and I leave it there for 20 minutes. Did you just burn the crap out of
No,
yourself?
I almost spilled that tea everywhere.
Okay, that would be painful and very messy because we were drinking raspberry tea
Okay,
tonight.
so you leave it on for 20 minutes.
So I leave it on for 20 minutes and I'll do my stuff or whatever. And then I take it off, and people, you might perspire, but you do not smell at all ever. I don't even need to wear deodorant for a month. And then can you guys tell, those of you that are watching us live, you can tell that Gabe just doesn't even care, but it works on men too.
No, what I'm
amazing.
doing is I have the our computers are over here, so I got a big monitor and I'm logging in so I can see the comments, because from over here, like the phone is over here on a stand, I can't see shit. I can't read the comments, so I like to see what people are saying because we're doing a Facebook Live.
Speaking of which, what's more important?
What does it do?
What's more important?
Explain to me.
What everybody is commenting about, or armpits? Because I feel like armpits are more important than what anybody else is saying right now.
I'm
Unless it's
super
also
curious
about armpits.
to know like what people are thinking, first of all. But I
They're
want to
probably
know.
thinking it's crazy.
I want to know about armpits. So tell me, what's the deal with? So what does it do for the pits?
For some reason, it makes you unstinky. It's really awesome. It's just kind of absorbs.
Can't you just like take a shower for that?
Well, you can, and then you need deodorant afterwards. This bentonite clay mixture makes me not need deodorant
So you're
for like a
saying
month.
that you don't have to wear deodorant?
No. I mean, I'd say weekly treatments for men, but it's literally bentonite clay, like a little bit of water, and you make kind of a paste and you put it on your armpits. Also, if you have any sort of chest breakout or back breakout, what?
I'm just so close to spilling this tea. I like move. I'm trying to get in close so that I'm in like the frame, and I just
feel
keep
like
bumping
Gabe
shit.
is more nervous about our topic tonight than I am. And I was really nervous. I wanted to run away.
Well, we'll get there. So, blah, 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 armpits. The topic tonight is...
Good thing I
it's
did
actually
my
called-
armpit detox because I'm sweating.
It's called Priscilla's Secret. Well, I'm sweating too, and it's because
Which is why I'm sweating.
because we don't have air conditioning in here.
And we're drinking hot tea. Whose idea was this? Both of our
It was
idea.
my idea.
It was both of our
But
ideas.
before we get there, we got some really interesting stuff tonight, guys. I decided to basically do this podcast, and I said, "Hey, Pete, let's talk about this secret that you have." And she goes, "Okay, well, do we need to prepare for it like usual?" I said, "No, you know what? I'm just going to straight interview you because I know all the nitty gritty
You
details."
guys have no idea how nervous I am right now. I'm
This is
dying.
like 5 years in the making.
It's not hot in here. I am dying. I am like sweating head to toe, like kind of freaking out, lightweight anxiety right now. No, this is awesome. I'm really pumped.
But before we get there, and before we divulge all this stuff, I'm just going to do a straight interview because I think it's going to be one of the most interesting topics that we've ever done. It's going to go outside our comfort zone, Priscilla's comfort zone for sure. But before we do that, I want to update you guys on what's going on. I got the build of the app today. I had a look at it. It's pretty fucking cool.
It is so sharp looking.
It's got some work to do, though. The guys, there were a lot of they put partially functional or non-functional in the notes. You want me to turn that up for you? There you go. They put partially functional and non-functional on certain features and stuff. A lot of it was like the programs, the workout, the gym tracker. So I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? I was really excited to get it. So they're still working on it. I'm assuming now that they're going to want a couple more weeks to go back and do stuff. I had to make some changes again because they forgot a couple of the comments that I made, and I guess this is just part of the process. I like to say, hey, this shit's coming out now, but it's really not on me. It's up to them to get the shit done. So we're in the works. We're getting there. It's coming. Great other news, guys. If you are in the mood for Big Arms, Big Arm Bible 2, we are about 2 weeks away from launch. I have 2 more videos to create and edit myself.
We also have spaghetti arms. For those of you that don't want big arms and you want spaghetti noodle
small
arms.
arm Bible.
The small arm Bible is, that's coming out soon.
So Danny Broadhurst, by the way, Danny just won the overall at the Tahoe show. That's a national qualifier. Congratulations to Danny Broadhurst, a brand ambassador, author, creator of the Big Arm Bible 2 that's coming out in 2 weeks. He crushed it. Not only did he win his...
The guy is brilliant. Oh my gosh.
Not only did he win his division, but he won the overall, which says volumes about his training style. And
Volume, no pun intended.
No
this
pun
guy
intended.
is huge. He is so big. Well, we had to special order shirts for him because they don't come in size Danny.
5X, dude. Danny takes a 5X t-shirt. So we had to actually have special shirts made for him.
And that's not 5X Italian, because seriously, XL in the United States,
Euro.
that's 5X in Italia.
Or China.
And you feel like this big old strapping dude, but like this guy needs legit US 5XL.
Yeah. It's
kind of awesome.
It's funny. So, so Danny, congratulations to Danny. The Big Arm Bible 2 is going to be so different, guys. You expect a lot from us and we're going to deliver, and I want you to do something. I want you to trust me on this Big Arm Bible 2 because it's so different that I had to take a step back and think about it. And I was like, yep, you know what? This works. And the methods that he's using, and he's actually in the Big Arm Bible 2, we're going to discuss where they came from. But I remember Barry. You remember Big Barry from WWE?
Heck yeah.
What
he's
was
getting ready to have a baby.
What was Barry's work name?
His girlfriend or his wife is pregnant, and they're going to have
a
a baby any day.
What was Barry's work name? Mason Ryan. So Barry was like the size of Dave Bautista, and it was funny because there was when he first came on board, I was like, oh, he looks so much like Dave. It's not going to work because he looks way too much like Bautista. But so Barry's his size, dude, and it was funny because the methods that Barry used at that time, I'm like, nah, that'll never work. But his arms were massive. I'm like, okay, well, I guess it does work. And that's the same types of methods that Danny is using in the Big Arm Bible 2. So be excited, guys. It's a 30-day program, the Bigger Arms, and we're literally waiting for the developer to get back off vacation after Labor Day to pop this thing in the dashboard, and then we'll be good to go.
Exciting. And I just want to say that we do have Facebook Live going right now, and Ad Court would like us to shave his armpits.
Okay, Ad.
And so...
Sure.
If you are in California and you want to come out this way, we can do that live on the podcast for you.
Happy to do that for you. Totally.
We love shaving armpits.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's what's going on. We're filming Rev 2 still. We got a couple more workouts. I think we got 5 or 6 more workouts to film with Christina Williams, our
they
IFBB
are incredible.
Pro. Yeah, it's really cool, guys. This is our first in-home program. We're using heart rate monitor training to actually dictate your rest time. So everybody's going to have a different rest time, and it's going to be in-home. Follow along. Got to pause the video if you need more rest, less rest, that kind of stuff. It's very unique, the first of its kind. We're super excited about that. So that's coming out. Other cool things is that we've got Labor Day coming up, and I'm about to drop a big-ass sale. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm sitting here with Priscilla, and I'm like, oh, shit, it's Labor Day. We got to come up with a sale and offer some shit. So I'm probably going to do 50% off supplements, with the exception of the IGF, because that stuff actually costs me a whole lot. I don't make a lot of money on that, which is really interesting. It's probably one of the most... It costs me more than I would like to pay for it. Let's just say the margin's very slim on the IGF. It works really, really well, which is why I want to carry it for you guys, but I just can't offer a huge discount on it, unfortunately. But everything else will be 50% off, I'm pretty sure. I think I'm going to do 50% off apparel, try to blow this shit out, and then what I'm going to do is I want to have a contest. I want you guys to submit apparel designs. I'm going to put this up on Facebook, and we want you to help me design the next round of apparel, because I do all the apparel designs. I don't outsource. I sit there, and I just bang my head and play and just until I figure out what I like. And I've just hit a wall. I haven't been successful with it. What's up? You're looking at me like you want to say something.
I do. I just want to share it. Chris Cannon posted something that's just super awesome.
I like Chris. He's cool.
He's rad.
Oh, by the way, Chris is a musician. He just launched his SoundCloud for the first time. So
hey.
Check out, if you see Chris's comments down here, go click on his page and find his SoundCloud.
So he is week 1 into F5.
That would be Forge 5X.
He's down 9 pounds and 1 inch off of his chest and abdomen.
Wow, dude, 9 pounds in 1 week on Forge?
Yes.
Yo, killing it, bro. Good job, man.
Yes.
See, and that's really cool. You know, so, excuse me. So we had, we've got Forge 5X, which is our intermittent fasting program. It's the first program we've designed. Well, it's the second intermittent fasting program, but the first program we designed to both bulk and cut at the same time. And it's Brian Cage's design. And it's by far our most intense program. And people just don't, we've had some balking on the internet, on the interwebs, about this stuff. And I just have to say, it's great to see testimonials like this. I posted something about Unleashed yesterday, and I had 2 or 3 guys like, no fucking way, dude. There's no way this kid gained 10 pounds in a week on Unleashed. I'm like, actually, he did. And guys get 20 pounds on Unleashed. It's insane. Like, it's an 83-day program. The shit's just off the hook. You guys that have done it, comment, throw some love. If you've done Unleashed, the program's unreal. I'm so proud of it. I'm so impressed by the results that everybody's getting. If you want to jump in.
Yeah, Scotty Brazil freaking out. Loving.
I know. Scotty,
Forge
dude.
5.
Scotty is all over that shit. Well, check this out, guys. If you're not on the Body Spartan team yet, so to speak, now's your opportunity. We have a 14-day free trial of the All Access Pass. And what you get is every single Body Spartan program ever, every single Body Spartan program to come, and the Spartan Army, and access to the private Facebook group. And you get a 14-day free trial of that.
See, that's another. I'm just seeing Josh Smith say the same exact thing. He's on week 4 of Unleashed. He loves it. He is. I thought that I was reading that wrong, but he said 12 pounds and down 1% body fat so far.
So he's actually gained more than 12 pounds of muscle. So if he's down 1% of body fat and he's up 12 pounds, that means he actually gained more than 12 pounds of muscle. So that's, dude.
And
Unleashed
these
is
excite me, but these are average results, which is crazy to me.
It happens, dude. People, the way I designed that program took a lot of thought, and it took a lot of research, and like I said, I'm super proud of it. There's nothing else like it out there on the market. Nobody's been able to duplicate it. It's all natural. It's all about matching your nutrition with the output of the workouts that you're doing, and it's intense, man. I got you guys eating starting at 5 and going up to 8 or 9 meals by the time you're done. But if you're dedicated to it, it's all lean muscle mass. Anyway, that's what's going on with Body Spartan. We could talk about me. It's not about me tonight. Just by the way, I'm better. I can't really lift weights right now. October 8th is when I can start lifting weights, like literally going to start bench pressing. I have been throwing around some 10-pound dumbbells here and there to just kind of keep myself going. That's me. Tonight's about Priscilla. So tonight, guys, let's dive right in. This is Priscilla's secret. And I got to be honest, she's terrified. She wanted to run away. I asked her downstairs. I'm like, you want to run away?
It's a really intense topic. It's something that I'm super passionate about. And those of you that were in our transformation group, we did one transformation group for 3 months. And those of you that were in that group, you do know what my secret is. But those of you that were not in that transformation group have no idea what it is. Gabe's opening windows because it is getting hot in here. I'm totally sweating. But this is some awesome stuff. So I have no idea what questions he's going to ask me. I think that's the scariest part. And also knowing the magnitude of what we're going to share and knowing that it has the power to change your life more than we've already impacted it. That's why I'm sweating, because I'm excited and also nervous because it's a very big message and I'm not a big girl. So here we go.
Okay, well, let's talk about this. So you've been nervous to talk about this, and I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to expand your minds tonight. For those of you that are listening, you know that a lot of times we talk about things that are outside the box. And the things that are outside of the box is what have actually made Body Spartan, Priscilla and I, so successful in what we're doing and has helped us change the outlook of our entire life. So no longer, I don't want to say no longer, but there's been a big transformation in the works for a very long time. And a lot of it started, God, it must have started 5 or 6 years ago, I think.
That was the big umph. Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time in the works.
Yeah, it's been a good 5 or 6 years. And, you know, when we were starting to do the podcast, we were talking about changing your vibration. You know, the molecules in your body all vibrate. That's not uncommon knowledge in the science world. And the higher your vibration, it usually matches a state. So if you're living in a state of gratitude, you have a higher molecular vibration. If you're living in a negative state where you're negative all the time, you're worried, you're stressed out, the molecular vibration of your body is much lower. So it kind of started with stuff like that. And then in the earlier podcasts, I backed it up with a bunch of scientific research. There were studies that were done.
Episode 5 primarily.
Was it 5? Man, you got a good memory.
It was just so impacting, and I got so many letters on that. And so episode 5 is definitely one to go back and listen to if you haven't heard it.
Yeah, and so and then it's scattered throughout though. We've done a lot of talking on the subject, and it gets a little esoteric. But I mean, I'm trying to think about the correct way to introduce this. Okay, so P, people probably don't know this, but recently you went through a bunch of schooling, and you have a couple fairly new certifications. You want to tell them what that is?
Yes, I am a Reiki master and a Reiki master teacher.
And
it's the study of energy.
Okay. So can you explain a little more? Like, for anybody that doesn't know what Reiki is, can you explain a little more?
Reiki is all about life force energy. Everything that exists around you that is a living thing contains life force energy. Your cat, your dog, your tree. Anything that carries vibrational energy that is a living conscious being carries this life force energy. Reiki is the balancing and manipulation of that energy to create results. As far as healing, as far as emotions, as far as stress reduction, as far as money manifestation, pretty much anything that you can imagine can be manipulated in a positive way using Reiki energy.
And I want to take a moment really quick to talk about, we talked about a previous episode where we had discussed the science behind some of this, and they have actually, I can't remember what they were called, but there's a special type of photography that is done.
Krillinian.
What is it called?
Krillinian.
Krillinian. Thank you. Because we quoted this, we talked about this, we had the study on a previous podcast specifically about Reiki healers. And the idea behind it is that if you have an ailment of some kind, whether it's physical, emotional, whatever, back then we were talking about it. Priscilla was not a Reiki master back then. She hadn't fully studied Reiki when we were talking about it back then. But Reiki healers and Reiki masters like Priscilla, when they're actually performing Reiki in a Reiki session, scientists are actually able to capture the energy coming out of the healer's hands. And I can't remember the exact number or data, but when you saw the Kyrillian, is that what it's called? Kyrillian photography, the numbers were off the charts. It was ridiculous. Like, it was exponentially higher than, if you just put your hand in front of somebody. It was like there was a massive amount of energy coming out that can't be seen. It can be felt. And it's basically on a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's a particle level, I guess you could say. And so it was an eye-opener for me. And when I actually experienced something similar to this, I didn't have Reiki, but we had gone to a Tony Robbins event where they have us walk on fire. And the way that Tony explained it is that he actually had this Kyrillian photography done as he was doing it. And when you're in a very specific state, your body's energy output completely, or it's so powerful, and there's so much energy going out that the energy from the fire that you're walking on, it offsets that. So as you walk across the fire in this very specific state that you're in kind of like, it's almost like a trance, I guess you could say, when we did it at Tony's, but you're focused, you believe it, it's going to happen, and you're in a very, 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 very specific mind state that so much energy is coming out of your body that it offsets the energy of the fire. You walk across, you don't get burned. That was my very first experience with this. Now, Priscilla, however, you're doing more than just Reiki, right?
Well, I did realize I went through the Reiki courses. I became a Reiki master, even with the ability to teach others to become Reiki masters. And then I went through pranic healing courses, which amplified it even more. But what I realized is when I do these healing techniques, I'm able to access information for people about their past, about their present, and about their future.
Now, that being said, it didn't just happen after you studied pranic healing. You've had a kind of like an intuition for a very long time about your abilities to basically access a person's emotional state, things they're going through, that sort of stuff, correct?
Well, it started when I was really young, and I realized that when I'd pray for something, when I'd ask God for something, I was raised in a pastor's home. We'd pray every day. And when I asked for something, it would happen. And I realized that I had a divine connection that was different than most people. It was faith, really, I think. And it just allowed me to manifest the reality that I wanted in very, very specific ways. And then I got a little bit older and I began having these dreams. And a lot of you have written into me saying that you get dreams and then the dreams happen. I remember this one time I had this terrible dream that my brother was riding on a motorcycle and he was showing off for these girls. And he was going down this road and he cut between two cars and he flipped them off as he's driving by. And one of the cars went this way, one of the cars was going this way, and smack, hit him. And he flew off his bike and he's landing there in the ground, bleeding, just, swearing up a storm. He wasn't dead, but he was not in good shape. And I went back to sleep. I was like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. I was 16 when I had this dream. And I had the dream again. And then I went back to sleep and I had the dream again. And I continued to be woken up with this dream until finally I was crying. And I called my parents and I told them the dream. And they're like, it's okay. Let's just pray that doesn't happen or whatever. And exactly a week to that date, I came out of school and I was walking out to my car. But instead of just seeing my car, I saw my parents' car and they got out of their car and they said, your brother's been in an accident. He was on his motorcycle. And he went between two cars and he was hit by the rear view mirror and he's not in good shape. He's not looking good. And we went to the ICU and sure enough, there's my brother. Exactly the situation that I had dreamt about. And that's when I realized, oh my goodness, I dream about the future. And then it happens in very specific ways. And
that was continued. Like your first major experience with it?
That's when I realized, I did.
The big epiphany?
I would say that was the big epiphany, but also realizing that my prayers were answered more than most people. And then I just felt this divine connection that was beyond average. And my parents saw it too. They saw that there was something a little bit different when they were raising me. And my mom kept this note in her little 1-year Bible and it said something about I can't remember exactly what it is because she said it once and I was like, what? But it was something to the extent that I had different gifts that were being used and observed in ways that were not average.
And so your gift now, so recently you have kind of been, I wouldn't even call it experimenting because I truly think that you're far past the experimental stage of this, but you have been putting these gifts out there for people and doing what you would call readings, right?
Well, I have been coaching for 13 years. For fitness, as a personal trainer, as a nutritionist. I've been doing sessions with clients one-on-one, and people are wondering, why do I get these amazing results? How am I able to crank out these fitness competitors and put them on stage and make them look so amazing? And it was more than just deciding that this was the best nutrition plan. In fact, even the keto nutrition plan was divinely downloaded. It was information that was not readily available to people, but it's something that was given to me and made known to me intuitively. And I could look at my clients and say, you need this food, or you need that food, or you need this nutrition component or that nutrition component, and it would make their bodies thrive. And so really it's something that I've had in place for 13 years of being a personal trainer, being a nutritionist, being an entrepreneur that does one-on-one coaching with people for the sake of rapid transformation or any of those things. It's divine information I was getting.
Okay, so you're getting divine information, and for those of you guys out there, I think it's part of the issue here is that a lot of people go, oh, we're talking about God. Well, we're really not. And I got to be dead honest. Like I was raised in a Christian household. Priscilla was raised as a pastor's kid in a Christian family. Man, sorry. And we've come to the point in our lives where it's like, I am not sure exactly what's out there. It's not that I don't believe in a God. I believe that there is some sort of creator, or it's just there's got to be a higher intelligence. There's just so much scientific proof out there. I mean, we get down to like the Fibonacci sequence. If you guys haven't heard of that, go look up the Fibonacci sequence, the golden rule, where basically like there's very specific sequences in nature that occur. I mean, everything from like our ears to our fingertips, there's ratios, and they can be found all throughout the galaxy. And so as you start pulling out and you start looking at a bigger picture, you start seeing this Fibonacci sequence throughout the galaxy. And you're like, dude, well, this cannot just be a random occurrence in nature. That would be really crazy. And so I think the most important thing here that we're going to talk about is we're going to get into more of this stuff that Priscilla's doing, which is really cool. We're going to touch pretty deep on this. But I think the biggest thing right now is, Priscilla actually putting it out there. And there's a reason that you've been afraid to do that, or not afraid, but been hesitant, I guess you could say. And it's kind of holding you back. And I think it's because it's one of the things that we really preach is to not care about what other people think. And from our discussions, I kind of feel like this is something totally different for you that you might have second thoughts about putting out there. You're a little nervous about it because you're worried about what some specific people might think about you. Is there some validity to any of that?
2 weeks ago, there was. And it has held me back for the past 5 years because I'm experiencing this all for the first time too. These healings that I'm seeing right in front of my face, these miraculous emotional recoveries that I'm seeing right in front of the face by these one-on-one clients I've been working with, I know that the results are real, and I feel a divine source energy flowing through me. I hesitate to call it God just because that was such a faux pas for me for such a long time. It was such a painful thing to hear, our Father who art in heaven wagging his finger at you. Hallowed be your name. Hallowed be your name. Hallow, what the hallow, And it was just so confusing.
What the hallow?
And they'd talk about, the God Most High. What does that mean? I figured out what it means because I go deep diving into meditation and I feel high. Now I really understand what the Most High is. It is a vibration that is so, I want to say intergalactic, because it is out of this world. It is not like anything here on this plane. For example, I was meditating today and I'm sitting out there in nature and I'm asking for this divine to wash over me. And I opened up my eyes and everything around me, and my eyes were open, and I've never done drugs ever in my whole life. Just saying, everything around me was in black and white. Nothing was in color. How is that possible? How is it that I have had times of meditation, I ask this energy, this spirit of what we might call God, but it's the same thing. It is the one true God. It is the God that is living, the God that is active, and God has been a word and a phrase that has just bummed out society for so long because we've been taught that God is wagging his finger and that God is a dude or something, or like there is something so far beyond what we've ever been told. And when we experience it, miraculous, amazing, incredible things wash over us. I've seen, I don't know how far out to go. Maybe I'll just stop because there have been really incredible experiences that I've had and that others have witnessed. But it feels really far out to talk about it, and because
I want you to talk about it.
Okay.
No, I'm on a different what?
You're on a different wavelength. It's kind of. Yeah.
Or you just believe that I'm on a different wavelength.
I believe that you're on a different.
So you never actually asked me. Like when you say I'm on a different wavelength, what do you think? What I'm trying to do is get your story out to everybody so they fully understand.
I think that you don't like that I get intuitive messages. I feel like it's annoying to you. I feel like it's a lot when I share that I know something and you're like, shut up.
Okay, wait a second.
Stop knowing things.
Wait a second. So that's absolutely false.
Is that false?
We've been over this before. I support you tremendously in this.
You do.
So I think what you're doing right now, and I just psychoanalyzing, I think that you're falling back into old patterns that aren't true because you're nervous. And we're not even talking about me. This has nothing to do with me. So why is it should not be transferred onto me. It shouldn't be deferred to me. This is you. I'm trying to get your story out here for everybody. So the point is, and what I'm trying to do is tie it together for a lot of people that understand where we're coming from. And this, it's not even I guess you'd call it a struggle.
Well, how is it to be married to a wife that knows things and you don't get to hide things from me? And I try to cover my eyes and let you live your life, but I see it and I dream it and I know it.
I mean, is that what this podcast is about?
No.
Do you want it to be about me?
No, it doesn't have to be.
I mean, I like things when it's about me. I can make it about me, but what that does is that makes you feel more comfortable with the belief that isn't true.
Okay, let's go for
so, and that's your comfort. So
then.
That's your comfort zone, and your comfort zone. Hang on, your comfort zone is with me, and you've said this many times. Like, I think that you don't this, and I think you don't that, and the truth is that I fully support you, and I know that what is happening is real because I've seen the people that you work with, and I've listened to them, and I've heard what they say about your readings and all this good stuff, and it's like, wow, this is fucking amazing. So it actually has nothing to do with me. I'm trying to get at poke at the source here, and I'm trying to help people understand based on what we've done in the past with what we've already taught them and shown them and bring them up and along and kind of go through this struggle. Because I think the important part here is that you're coming out of your comfort zone.
Way.
And there's a lot of people out there that are still within their comfort zone on a daily basis. And they've never experienced anything like this. Because what was it the other day that you were saying to me about when you do what you were meant to do, how does that make you feel? Because, and let me back up, you feel like you were meant to do this, right?
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Purposeful,
fulfilled, right? And does it matter if you're making money doing it or not?
No, it doesn't.
Could you do that every day for the rest of your life?
No. I mean, not making money and doing it?
Yes. Could you just do what you're doing the rest? Like, you didn't give a shit about money.
Oh, yes.
You're like, if I could just do this and help people every day for the rest of my life, would I?
Absolutely.
So that's the big thing. This is what you feel like your purpose is meant to be right now, correct?
Absolutely.
But it's outside of your comfort zone to, like, get on a megaphone and scream it to the world and just say, hey, guess what, guys? Everybody, meet Priscilla Tuft. I get divine messages, and you may not believe me because most of the world doesn't actually accept this stuff yet. But I get divine messages, and if you were to jump on the phone with me, if I were to have a Facebook Live with you, if I were to talk to you over Facebook Messenger, I could get a reading on you, and I could tell you the very specific things that you need in your life. And it's hard for you to get out there and say that because it's anti what you were brought up to do. And this is one of the big things I wanted to talk about tonight is that most people are, what do we say? By the time a kid's 7 or 8, like they're pretty much hardwired at that point. 7. They start leaving the alpha state, right? You're not, children are in the alpha state most of their young adolescent life. So when they
usually no longer than
7's not really adolescent.
Usually no longer than the age of 5 or 7, and then they stop operating. So
by about that time, we're technically brainwashed to believe whatever our parents tell us to. And it doesn't matter who you are. Like, I'm not saying that your parents brainwashed you, but I'm just saying for the general terminology, like, we have learned the basis of what our beliefs are, what our identity is, who we are, what our parents believe, what we're supposed to believe, what's right, what's wrong. Correct? Yeah. You're watching the comments?
Yeah, I'm watching the comments.
Oh, well, okay. So by that time, we've learned all that. And so, by that time, you had basically learned that there was, you're raised in a pastor's home. You would basically learn there is one God. It's Jesus Christ. This is it. If you don't believe, you're going to hell, right? In a nutshell?
Yes.
Yeah. And if you, there's very specific rules in the Bible that
I wanted to sugarcoat that.
You wanted to sugarcoat what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know you did. But it's very black and white. Like, it's just, if you look at it and it's like simple science, like the same thing my parents, I knew exactly what was
Jesus or you burn. Pick one.
There is no
Jesus or fire.
And your parents are super
darling. They're so
they're
sweet.
angels about it. They're not like, oh, you're going to hell. Like, your dad went out of his way every chance he could get to talk to somebody. He never condemned them. He never did anything. Every time I talked to him or saw him do that, I was like, man, this guy actually
loving delivery.
He cares. Sure. He truly believes in what he's preaching, but he really cares. And so you were taught all this stuff at a very, very young age. And so it's hardwired into you. And so I think that you have this hesitation because so deep down inside, you feel like there's like a switch that cannot be turned. And if it's turned, like, the world is going to The sky's going to fall.
I was
basically.
just raised very traditional Christian, and I realized that my gifts at a very young age started to display themselves in a non-traditional way. And every single step along the way, my parents have been like, yes, this is of God. Yes, this is true. Yes, we agree. Yes, yes, yes. But I was really nervous about the Reiki energy that I have been studying and sharing, and I was very nervous.
Why?
Because
Be very specific. Why were you nervous about the Reiki energy?
Because the Bible doesn't say Reiki.
And what is Reiki based off of?
God.
What is which God?
The one true God.
Where did it originate?
Well,
you know what I'm poking at.
Jesus laid hands on people and
what
they
am I
healed.
poking at? Where did Reiki originate from? Is it from Hindu? There's a lot of Hindu stuff in it.
Japan.
So definitely not Christian is what I'm getting at, right?
I believe that the same God of the Bible is the same God of the Bible that flows through me and helps me heal.
Okay, hang on, because now you're backtracking, because that's not what you told me a while ago.
You might have misunderstood, but I do believe in the one true God.
I definitely didn't misunderstand, because you told me very specifically a couple of weeks ago that you were nervous to tell your parents about you being a Reiki master and a Reiki master teacher because Reiki originates from Japan.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So it's not biblically based, and that was scary to me to tell them.
The Reiki teaching, the symbols, everything. I mean, it has nothing to do with the Christian Bible, correct?
Correct. And also gravity isn't in the Bible. And that was fought to the core in the early days. And same thing with Christopher Columbus. The church fought all of that tooth and nail because it wasn't in the Bible.
Well, I mean, there were also crusades, and we also slaughtered millions, or not millions, but hundreds of thousands of people over a book.
Side note.
I mean, there's tons of things that weren't supposed to happen that happened.
Right. And so I got brave about a week and a half ago, and I told them what I was doing, why I was doing it, why I was scared to do it. And I put myself out there, and the influx of people that have come in and received massive healing and huge life expansion and messages for their life about what to do next has just catapulted this movement that has raised the vibration of our community. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. So I'm ready to talk about it.
Was there a point in this whole, what's the word I'm looking for? This whole, it's not even like it's like a coming of age, but you're not coming of age. It's
like
really,
a coming out.
I guess, but I don't want to
coming
think
out
like,
of the closet.
Pride kind of thing.
I love it. That's what I said.
To liken it to something like that, because I can only imagine how hard it is for somebody that has determined that they are gay to come out to their parents that were raised Christian.
That is exactly, Gabriel, that is exactly how I felt.
Well, okay, so hang on, guys. You know that this is serious because she used my full name. Like, she never uses my full name. I'm in trouble when she says Gabriel, and then I'm in really big trouble when she says Gabriel Allen. Then I'm like, fucked. I'm like, oh my God, I might as well get a fucking shovel and dig a hole in the backyard. So she said Gabriel, so I know she's dead serious, but it's very... This point that I'm trying to make is that a lot of people that are our fans, our followers, our listeners, are at that point where they have found something that they love. Just like you found your purpose and you feel great about it, right? The hardest thing for you to do is to break the cycle that you're in. Progress, get it out there, and do something different. Because why? Scary? Is there fear involved?
Oh, yeah.
It's absolutely fear. Fear of what? Fear of failure?
No.
Fear of failure?
I have never given a bad reading, not ever. I've never given someone information that they're like, no, that's not.
Have you ever been worried that you might give somebody a bad reading?
Every day. Okay. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to...
So there is fear of failure.
May I? So when somebody schedules an appointment, like right now, I'm not worried about it because I'm feeling the flow. But sometimes when people schedule an appointment, I don't know this person. I've never talked to them. But as soon as I make the connection and I ask for divine messages, they flow through me. And it's crazy the kind of messages that I get. For example, I met a brand new person and gave them a session this week. And I was telling them that they better lawyer up. that a family member is after them financially, that a colleague is after them financially, that an ex-husband is trying to get custody of the kids. I was freaked out to share all of this stuff, but I did it in a way that was gentle and loving and kind. And the person said, ready? Yeah, I already know that stuff. They already knew.
So you were spot on, basically.
It was spot on. And I said, okay, awesome. Now that we got that out of the way, here's your strategy. And we were able to put it here. And I'm like, hey, guess what? In 3 weeks, there's going to be a massive shift in your life. Everything is going to change. Take these steps and you're going to feel this forward motion, this forward momentum. By the way, here's the house that you're going to buy. Go down this street. It was just like
very detailed, specific stuff.
Not always, but it was that time. Sometimes it's things to just soothe the soul and help people emotionally. That is my biggest passion, is helping people through emotional challenges.
First of all, that's amazing. It's incredible that you can actually get those kinds of messages and be right.
But you know what's crazy?
I've seen you be right every time. I've never seen you be wrong. But I really want to talk about, what was holding you back. So there was fear of failure, right? We talked about that. And you said every time there's
it's
fear
very
of failure.
easy. It's very easy.
Wait, so just yes or no. There's fear of failure, when this is all new.
I was afraid what my mom might think.
So there's fear of what other people think.
It was my mom. I'm like, I have a really special spiritual connection with my mom. And if I come out as a Reiki master and that I'm doing Reiki readings, like, what does that mean? What does that entail? Like, is it God or is it like some other sort of woo-woo stuff? And what is this energy thing? What do you mean energy medicine? What do you mean people are healing? What's going on? And if I lose her trust, then I lose that precious relationship that I have with her. She'll always love me. She'll never abandon me, but I didn't want to lose that preciousness. So I looked at it dead in the eyes and I said, Mom, here's what I'm doing, just like I shared with you a minute ago. And when I broke the seal of my fear, I was able to stand and take my seat. And things begin to change for other people because I took that courage. It was worth it.
And that's really where I'm heading with this, is that there was fear of failure. There was fear of what other people think. And one of the most common ones that we have encountered, and that I think a lot of people encounter, is the fear of failing our parents, or the fear of what our parents might think.
Yes.
And this is a huge one because, like I said, we're hardwired by the time we're 5 or 7 years old to seek out our parents' approval. And for some reason, a lot of us have a difficult time with being who we really are around our parents. I mean, most of us have a difficult time being who we really are around certain people and friends. Social settings are difficult for some people. However, it's one of the things that I've used in seminars before where it's like the first thing I talk about is stop giving a fuck about what other people think. And when we are able to overcome that hurdle and we're able to chase our passion and we're able to be who we really truly are with no holds barred, when you stop caring about what other people think, especially your parents, that is when you elevate and you really are able to change the world. And you're able to change yourself and you're able to find your life path. And it's really amazing for me to see my wife. We've been married for 17 years. And it is 17, right? Yeah, okay, just want to make sure I got that right. We've been married for 17 years, and it's amazing to have watched the progression over the years, because when we were first married, you got dreams all the time, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is nuts. Like, okay, Priscilla gets dreams that come true, but to see that go from that to where she is now and finally coming out and talking about it and being open and going, you know what? This isn't something that I asked for when I was born, but it helps people. I'm okay with it, and I'm going to nurture this. I'm going to continue to help people. I mean, that's amazing. It's really incredible. And I think that the big picture here for people to understand is that when you get over the fear of failure and when you get over the fear of what other people think, especially mom and dad, your life is going to change. I mean, with me, I had a similar, I don't know what people think. I can't. I'm kind of an empath because I know when you're in a bad mood. That's about it. But like for me, it was this whole body Spartan thing and me just being myself, and when I'm myself, my language just gets off the hook. Like I start cussing like crazy. And that's just who I am. And the more I held it back, the more it was frustrating, and I couldn't get my point across, and it was fake. And when I finally was just like, you know what, fuck it. This is me. This is who I am. I'm going to use this. It's going to be impactful. When I stop caring about what my parents think, mom and dad, if you're listening, nothing against you guys, but it's like when I stopped caring about you, that's when I started changing lives. Just similar to you.
Exactly the same.
It's you stop caring. I mean, you obviously care about your relationship.
I went down the worst case scenario path. And I said, okay, so if I put this out here, what's the worst case scenario? And I kept chopping it down. I'm like, my parents will never stop loving me. They may not agree with me. I may lose the intimacy in our relationship, but they're never going to stop loving me. So I can let that go. And then I started thinking, okay, worst case scenario, if I don't heal people on a massive level, if I don't help people on this deep, deep level when I know I can, and I'm up at night knowing what's going on with someone's life and not helping them, not telling them, the worst case scenario is much more terrible in that direction. And so when I talked to my mom, told her what was going on, helped explain a little bit more where I'm coming from and what Reiki really is before she would, start Googling and finding out whatever she finds out online, I just told her. And it was the best decision that I made because I was able to set myself free and start helping people on a larger scale. Because now here I am, fitness girl. That's another thing. I was like, oh my gosh, people have me so in a box of like being this fitness girl, having these fitness programs, being co-founder of Body Spartan. But the truth is, I'm also a Reiki master, and I serve privately every single day with one-on-one clients. What if I came up with a way to help people on a larger scale for a smaller cost so that I could make a larger impact in this world? And so I went for it.
Let me ask you, how many years has this internally tormented you?
Tormented.
And I'm gonna use the term. I was thinking about what term to use just now.
No, it's okay.
And I think torment is a good word for it because I know you so well. How many years has it been that you have been suffering internally with this? I know I have this gift. It doesn't feel aligned with what I was taught when I was growing up by my folks. I'm nervous about what other people might think. I'm nervous about the fear of failure. I'm nervous about my relationship with my mom. How long have you been suffering with that internally?
In the past, not recently, but in the past, there was, are these messages really real? Am I really hearing? Am I really seeing? Am I really experiencing what I'm sure I'm experiencing? I've never done drugs, so I'm not having like some sort of flashback. Am I crazy? Am I honestly, all of these things went through my mind. So how far back do we go with the torment? Let's see. About 6 years ago is when my huge awakening happened, where the scales just fell from my eyes and I realized Santa Claus is real. And that there are some, crazies hanging out in other planets and wanting to send messages, whatever.
Oh, I mean, I think that for the majority of our listeners, I just have to say that I truly believe that in an infinite universe of this size where we can't even count, we don't have a number for the amount of stars that are out there and the amount of planets. If we are to really think that we're alone in this universe, it's incredibly narrow-minded and heliocentric to think that there is a gigantic universe out there so far that our telescopes can't even see the end of the universe. It's just like, really, guys? You think that in all that vast space that there's nothing else out there? It's
true. So to get back to your question,
how long have you been suffering?
So 6 years. No, 6 years is when the scales fell from my eyes, and I started to feel some of that internal turmoil because I realized that I was a different creature than I was when I was 7 and fully accepted by my parents. So it started to get uncomfortable then. But the torment really didn't start until about 2 years ago because I kept myself very busy. And I kept giving things to the world, giving tidbits. And then suddenly I couldn't live with myself because I realized there was so much more that I had to give. When I came out with Revolution, that was really pivotal and really huge because I used Reiki to encode this sleep audio that I have for my girls. And before they started the nutrition plan, before they started their workouts, they were getting results with fat loss and weight loss and not understanding why they can plug this audio in, listen to it at night and lose weight. It's because it's more than a diet. It's more than a workout. There is energy behind it. There's divine energy behind it. There is life force energy behind it. So really after Revolution, things just started to tweak my brain and I realized I've got to help the world in a bigger way.
Revolution was 2016. That was 3 years ago.
All right, then.
It's been 3 years that you have been internally suffering. And let me ask you, if you would...
I wouldn't say suffering, but very uncomfortable, feeling at ease. But I don't think that I was ready to serve then.
I would beg to differ because I watch you on a daily basis and I saw your discomfort with life in general, like frustrated that you felt like you were meant for something more. Many times you've said that you were just I feel like I can do so much more. And personally, I think that was you, like your inner self, who you are now, trying to get out and trying to be like, I can do so much more, but I'm a little nervous and I probably shouldn't because I was raised this way. That's the internal turmoil that I think you were undergoing. Personally, that's just what I think, just from a third party perspective. Maybe you don't call it suffering, but it was a battle inside for sure.
It was a battle inside.
So what would have happened if you had not decided to go this route? Like, where do you think you would be today if you hadn't started doing readings for other people, using your Reiki and pranic healing skills that you've developed and you're now certified in for other people? Where do you would you be kind of miserable, feeling like you had this purpose and you weren't helping people?
I quelled it for a long time.
That is a big word. What the hell does quell mean?
Like quiet it, kept it,
quell,
kept it.
Storm.
Yeah.
I almost Googled that.
Okay, you Google it, baby, over there. So So I quelled it for a long time by offering these services inside of services that I offer to the public. So we'd sell these one-on-one coaching sessions. A lot of you have had, well, not a lot of you, but the privileged ones of you have had one-on-one sessions with Gabe, had one-on-one sessions with me, had one-on-one sessions with the two of us as far as marriage counseling. It's been incredible. But when you get behind the curtain, you see that it's a lot more than, hey, yeah, you can do it. Eat your Wheaties. There's so much more behind it. And it is spiritual energy. Those of you that were in, I saw a couple of you talking about the transformation team. We played with energy big time. We shifted you on a cellular level and you loved it.
Actually, I think I saw a comment from Darren Sliva in there. And actually, you did a reading for him a while ago too, right?
Yeah, I did.
And he commented saying that in this Facebook Live, he said that everything that you said was spot on and it helped him tremendously. Just kind of, if you guys are looking for, just, if you're still kind of on the fence about what we're talking about, because we have so many topics that we're covering tonight. Some of it is the coming out that I really encourage you guys to do. And, whatever you're passionate about, stop caring about what other people think. Everybody fails. We learn from our failure. And then there's this amazing, set of gifts that Priscilla has that we're spilling right now. And who was it right here?
And we've kept it so private.
Bradley Parker just commented. He said, really love how you guys are raw and real with everything you talk about. Let us know y'all are humans just like us. So motivated by you guys. Love y'all. Bradley, we love you too. And that's the purpose here, is just to let you guys know that, we're human. We've been where you are. We still go through things. Even though we feel like we have come a long way from where we used to be, we're still learning. And that's why we share this with everybody that's listening and everybody that's watching. The whole reason we do what we do is to help everybody else. And so, Priscilla's gifts, I really, we've talked about all this other stuff. I'd love to dive into a little more about like a Reiki session and what that kind of entails. So typically a Reiki session, is it healing physically? Is it healing emotionally? Or is it getting information about your life path and kind of what you might need to do next? Is it any of the three? Is it all of the three? What is a Reiki session?
It's all of those things. Reiki heals on a cellular level. It rebalances chakras, and the repercussions of that are so vast. It's emotional healing, it's happiness, it's up-leveling, it's raised emotional vibration, which allows you to attract the things that you desire in your life. It helps with fitness, it helps with weight loss, it helps with making money. Any number of things. There's pretty much nothing that can be untouched by Reiki.
A lot of times when you see documentaries on Reiki, it's about, like the monkish kind of guys that are in the Himalayas that study Reiki and all that stuff. I mean, we watched one about a guy that was able to like light paper on fire and stuff. And that was like a chi thing, I guess. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But anyway, you kind of get this idea.
Chi is life force energy, so it is the same thing.
Okay, so we kind of get this idea that you have to be there in the room to experience Reiki. Like you go into a room and you lay down on a table and you have this calm, quiet session, and the Reiki healer, does their thing, and you're healed. You experience healing of an ailment or emotional healing, whatever it might be. I think that's kind of the general image that most people that have an inclination about Reiki think is going on. So
I mean,
you have to be in the room to have a session. I know the answer is no, but how would you explain that? I mean, it's just a simple no, or is it?
Most of the Reiki that I do is remote, is distance, and it's actually more powerful than being in the room with someone. But I don't know how we would have made it through the past year, 2 years of our life with everything that Gabe's been through physically. I don't know how we would have made it through without Reiki and the gifting that I have, because he doesn't... Tell me if this is incorrect, but I feel... Okay, so you're not really interested in the divine messages that I have for your life, correct? Or you're wanting to hear them in ways that are short and to the point. You want to know you're not dying. You want to know something good is on the horizon. You want to know little things, right?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is that...
I'm your wife.
One, you're my wife, which that's a really terrible thing to say in that way.
It's true.
It's hard for spouses to always, and this is a learning point for me too. It's difficult for me to take advice from you sometimes when I think I got this covered. Like I don't. Most people come to you when for your sessions. You have people coming to you because they feel like they need your help. For whatever reason, whether they're sick, they got an ailment, or they want some direction in their life.
People often come to me just for entertainment.
Okay, so maybe it's for
curious.
Entertainment.
They're like, ooh, tell me what to do. Tell me what you know about me. Tell me whatever. And let me feel this feel-good energy, because it does feel good.
But for me, I feel like, and this may be one of my shortcomings, is that I've got stuff under control. I've got it all. Like for business, I got it under control. For moto riding, I'm like, I don't need your help for that, obviously. For this, for parenting, like I got this. Like this, I know what I'm doing. However, when I'm feeling freaked the fuck out and I know something's wrong with my body, like for the last year before I had the heart surgery and something was wrong, I was like, yo, P, will you flow some Reiki? Or even recently, like I get, before the surgery, I got visual migraines. And for those of you that don't know what visual migraines are, they're basically, you kind of see like a bright squiggly line that flashes everywhere in front of you. And for those of you on the Facebook Live, Priscilla's that is the sign language for I gotta go pee. I gotta go potty. So I'll tell you my Reiki story where she goes pee. Basically, you see this like squiggly, flashy like spaghetti noodle, and it can be jagged, it can be smooth, whatever. But it you see it in both eyes, whether or not you have your eyes open or whether or not you have them closed, and it's incredibly annoying. You can't look at a screen. So if I'm working and I'm trying to look at a screen, I'm editing videos like the Big Arm Bible 2, like I've been trying to do. I started to get these when I was wrestling, and I think it comes from hitting my head so much when I was in WWE that it's got something to do with the retina or whatever. People, scientists, doctors aren't 100% sure how they happen, but they have been able to scan and understand that there is a difference in blood flow to the brain when this occurs. I got them, I could count it on one hand how many times I had it in a year. And it was usually like once every couple months I would get a random one. It would last about a half hour. While I was in the hospital at Stanford recovering, I got visual migraines like they were going out of style. And I'm getting them, a couple times a week now. And even now, when I'm getting them, I'm like, yo, P, will you work some Reiki on me? And within minutes, I mean, these things typically did not go away for a half hour or more. I have to put ice on my head, ice on the back of my neck, close my eyes, stop what I'm doing, and I'm out. I'm done for at least 30 minutes. And if you guys do your research on visual migraines, a quick Google search will show that the estimated amount of time is about 30 minutes or more for a visual migraine to go away. Priscilla will come in with Reiki and work on me for 5 or 10 minutes, and it's pretty much gone. Like it.
Can I fix my ankle?
What, your ankle?
I just broke my ankle.
Oh, can you Reiki your ankle? That's my experience with Reiki. Like it's not that I don't need the other things. It's just that might be one of my shortcomings. Like for you, I feel like I need Reiki for healing purposes.
How about anxiety too? Did
anxiety?
You discuss that?
No, I didn't. And I am so plagued by anxiety for the last 2 years of my life.
In the past, because even if it was yesterday, you guys, it's in the past. We're living in the future right now.
This is a pretty gigantic
anxiety
thing for me to say on a podcast.
I know,
it's
but we're being
my
real.
life.
You guys for the past year of his life, actually, I'd say for the past 2 years of his life, he wonders.
I went into AFib. Yeah.
He wonders every single day if today's going to be the day that he dies. He wonders if his heart's going to make it. Can you imagine the repercussions of that on your everyday life? Gabe wakes up at 2 a.m. In the past, has woken up at 2 a.m. like, I got to go see a doctor, a lawyer, a priest, a surgeon, or something. Like, somebody freaking help me. I'm freaking out. I'm going to tear my heart out. And the gift of Reiki has calmed him down, taken him down from the ledge, allowed him to come to a peaceful state of mind. I've also seen ailments in his body that he doesn't even know about while giving him Reiki, and I watch them heal right before my eyes, and he doesn't even know about them.
Just giant penis syndrome.
There's nothing you can do about that. It's unfixable.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Currently got it tied around my left leg. So.
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news. It's just going to be one of those lots of life that you're just going to have to.
It's crazy.
I know. It's rough. Actually, we do have a friend, the great Kali.
Are we going to talk about this?
Yeah. We got to break this up a minute. That's why I go pee. I detox. I go pee and it detoxes.
Kali
and
is
helps me
is a giant in WWE. He's a wrestler. He's Indian.
When he says giant, so giant that when we lived in Florida, he used to send his wife to the ER like on a regular basis because he just tore that poor little lamp. She's like the sweetest, like, oh my gosh.
We're just getting into it.
His foot was as big as my 4-month-old child. Like,
insane.
I remember like we're sitting at Denny's, like eating food, and I look down, I'm like holding my 4-month-old child, and I'm looking down at his foot. I'm like, it's samesies.
Samesies. You're as big as my 4-month-old child.
Okay,
oh, he's like way over 7 feet tall. The guy's gigantic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so Gabe's got the same problem.
But I think it's important for people to understand that my anxiety didn't just come out of nowhere. It came out of the fact that I had this aortic aneurysm in my heart. And what happens for anybody that doesn't understand that, I'll go over it briefly. I've been over it many times before. Is that the ascending aorta, the gigantic artery that comes out of your heart? You have one that goes up to the top of your body and one that goes down.
We hope you do.
The ascending aorta, it was growing. So the inside, think of it like a balloon. When you start blowing a balloon, it gets too full and it's just like about to pop. So that's what was happening to me. Most people don't have symptoms. However, I was one of the very few percentage that could feel this like deep ache and throb in the center of my chest.
You're making Chris Cannon cry.
Oh, sorry, bro.
I
love you, man. and
no, he's stressing out, not crying. He's like, ah!
Yeah. So it's like I could feel this deep ache and this deep throb and this anxiety that followed because I knew that I had an aneurysm because I'd been and had scans and stuff, and 2, I could feel it. I'm like, something is not right. It's this deep gut feeling that something isn't right in your body. And basically the way that aneurysms work is that if your blood pressure gets too high, if there's a sudden spike, if your heart rate gets too high, it can burst. And with the aortic aneurysm, you usually bleed out and die within 3 minutes. If you don't get to the hospital and you got a full dissection, you're dead. And there's just, to think that I was a ticking time bomb for 2 years was really fucking scary, just to know, oh my God, is this it? Is it happening? I would feel weird stuff. And so I would take it from I have a deep ache and a throb to this is making me really nervous, and I could feel my heart rate going up, my blood pressure going up, to holy fuck, am I dying? And then I'd have a full-on panic attack, an anxiety attack, and I wouldn't be able to function. I'd breathe really shallow. It could be 2 in the morning. It could be at 12 at night. It could be at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, it happened at all hours of the day. It was just totally random. And your Reiki was really the big key to calming me down, to keep me from just flying over the edge and running off a cliff.
I don't know what we would have done without it.
I don't either.
But
I probably
there was
would have run off a cliff.
also, there was one night that was very profound where I'm just like, I helped you, and then I went upstairs and I had tears in my eyes because I was so grateful. And it was that night where you were on the couch and words started flowing through me. Like, I feel the words come through the top of my head and out of my heart, usually. And the words were coming through me for you.
Can you use this guy as a diagram? How does this work?
Okay.
So we've got man at arms.
Hulk.
No, it's man at arms.
But he looks like Hulk, so
He's
I
not
don't know
Hulk.
which one. So he's got a really super
He's a
duper
He-Man
shredded.
So
I don't
use
know.
the
Why
He-Man
does he
character.
stand like that? I don't understand. Okay. So I feel the energy go here. Right here.
Through the top of the head.
Oh, wait, you can't see. Through here. Right there. Right here.
She's tapping on the head.
And then I feel it come out here. Through the
I
heart.
think I need it all. Oh, and by the way, guys, just so you know, we do have our windows open, and if you're hearing roosters outside, we do have a flock of roosters. If you're hearing a Harley start, that's my neighbor, because it's so damn hot in the office, and we don't have air conditioning. So that is my neighbor, which is really a sad
And it's
story.
not, we sound like wine. We don't have AC, but guess what? California,
Yo, dude.
90% of the time, the weather is perfect.
Yeah.
So those couple of days per year where it's like a little bit roasty toasty, like wah, wah, wah.
Well, our home was also built in 81, so...
Maybe so.
Well, which is a really
80
interesting story about this guy
86.
next door. So was it a month ago when we woke up?
2 months ago.
Has it been 2 months?
Or a month and a half. Yeah. It was on the full moon on the 17th of
July?
June.
Oh, it was before I went in for surgery.
No, right after of July. Yes, 17th of July.
Okay, so I've been out for about 2 weeks.
Yes, because I woke up to these lights. I woke up to these
Yeah.
Like to all the
live
ambulances and all the stuff.
on a 4-way intersection in a residential area, and our house is on the corner, and then there's this little tiny cul-de-sac with 1, 2, 3, there's 4 houses in the cul-de-sac. It's really small. And they're just lights, like emergency lights everywhere.
But
we heard the
actually,
sirens too coming in.
That's not true, because I woke up and then I saw the lights and then I saw the sirens, but I woke up and I felt like, I feel weird to say this. I felt a soul emerge. Like I felt a soul go. And then we saw the lights and
Yeah.
the sounds.
And
I was like, oh my gosh, Gabe. And I ran downstairs and he was in his little chair because he had just gotten out of surgery. He had been out of surgery. I mean, the surgery was the 8th. This was the 17th.
So I would only
he was
been
still
home
in his
less than a
special chair.
week.
He wasn't coming upstairs and sleeping yet.
Yeah, we had purchased a special chair that basically like
His mommy
my
did
mom and dad
it. His mommy
it was
bought
like an
him a
old person
special
chair that has a button you push and it goes and it lifts the butt up so you don't have to try to stand up.
And they wanted to get him a potty seat and he's like, no.
Oh yeah, I was like, no, I'm fine.
They're
I
like,
can
we're
do
going to
this."
get you a special pot. No.
But so I
They're
was
awesome.
yeah. So
I
I
love them.
basically like took the liberty. No, I ended up going outside to check it out. I remember I walked outside really carefully and I saw our neighbor in the back of the cul-de-sac. There were 2 cop cars, a fire truck, a paramedics, and then I saw my neighbor walk out of his house. I'm like, yo, dude, are you okay? Like, what's going on? He's like, it's not me, man. It's this guy next door. And he goes, I think it's his wife, and she had been sick for the long time, very long.
We
time.
didn't know because they stay very. I know all the
They're super
neighbors. It's
private. Yeah,
crazy.
they're the one couple that we didn't really know. They were just very private. I think he was a retired police officer or detective or something.
Firefighter.
Thank you. That's what it was. But long story short, apparently, his
that's the
wife
word on
had
the
passed.
streets.
She had cancer of some kind, and she had passed, and it was just really sad. And we didn't know at the time. And then I noticed that the paramedics weren't coming out, and they were there. They had been there for a long time. They just
and
didn't
then the police
come
went
out.
in with gloves. We're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, they came out to the car. They got their gloves on, went back inside. I'm like, oh, that's not cool.
Yeah, it was really heavy.
And so they went back in, and basically, one of literally the lady that lives behind us in this cul-de-sac, Barbara, her daughter Chris is the receptionist at my primary care physician, my doctor's office, and so I was in doing a checkup. And I was like, hey, did you hear about, the cold? She's like, oh, yeah. So she kind of told me what happened. I was like, wow, that's really terrible to hear that. It's such a sad thing. However, I think the husband has basically been really good about trying to stay occupied. I think he's a carpenter.
It's like more than being occupied. It's like he has stepped into the thing that he's doing next. And
he's about 80 is what we think, right? Is what Chris said.
He is not 80. That's impossible.
You saw him on the bike. Oh, so what I'm getting at is that Harley you heard start up was this guy's Harley. I never heard it.
He even started a garage band like a week later.
Yeah,
this guy is doing life right now.
I never heard it until after his wife died. I'd never heard that Harley start up.
Are we being awkward talking about our neighbor?
No, it's totally cool. But
who we have
what
never talked to. Okay,
I mean, this is kind of interesting. So it's one of two things. Either he murdered his wife so he could go have more fun.
You're
or
terrible.
Or I'm just saying whatever he's thinking. Or
I am going to pray so hard for you.
He's
like,
seizing,
oh my gosh,
he's
Gabe.
seizing the remaining years he had because he did drive
heavens.
by like the other day and I waved him. I'd never seen him before. And he's on this Harley. He's got this big old gray beard. He just looks like he's a lot older. And I'm like, dude, this guy really is about 80 years old and he's riding a fucking Harley. This is amazing, dude. I mean, not that I'm a Harley guy. I race sport bikes, but I'm like, I can't hold it against this dude. He's on a fucking bike. That's amazeballs.
No, but he comes out the other day. This is so cute. I feel bad, but like we're like really having this conversation. So like he sees Gabe and I come home and he like starts his bike. Oh, so cute. And then he stands out front like this, like
wait for, like Superman stance, like hands on hips. Just in front of his bike. I didn't see that. I totally missed that.
And then I'm like, hi. He's like,
mic up by your mouth. Yeah. I'll give you the nod.
I gave me the nod.
What's up?
Yeah,
what's up?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, wait. He gave me the nod like this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do it with our He-Man character.
I got to do it with the He-Man. I swear that's the Hulk. That's not He-Man. That's the Hulk.
Okay. So long story short is
He's got some wrinkly nips.
That is, those are striations.
Those are not striations.
Those are striations.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to show our people.
They can see just fine.
Oh my gosh, no,
so
he's got things.
The point is that, Reiki was amazing in helping calm my anxiety for the last 2 years. It's helping now. So not only did it calm my anxiety, it also was able to heal my visual migraines. So that's my personal experience with it. The other people that Priscilla, has helped, they have all sorts of amazing testimonial stories. And I think what we're getting at with this is that I'm really encouraging you to come out of your shell. And, here's an interesting story. Chris Cannon, he's like, dude, you're stressing me out just now. He was commenting. Chris listens to our podcast, and there's a lot of noise outside.
You're welcome.
He listens to our podcast. He's been a follower and a fan of Body Spartan since the beginning. And our last podcast, I gave some instructions, and I basically said, do these 3 steps. He went and did it. And this is about making some massive change in his life. And he wants to make some major progress. The dude went and he finished up whatever music he was working on. And he took a big step. And I know Chris had some fear about what people might think about his music. And, had some fear of failure. But he said, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. And he put his music on SoundCloud. He took that first major step. And that's a massive step. I mean, there's so much that, you deal with, as a musician, like, will they like my stuff? I don't know. Is it good enough? Do I have to change it? And he put that shit out there. And I'm super proud. I want to recognize Chris Cannon. Just say, hey, man, I'm proud of you. Keep it up. This is the example that we're showing tonight. Chris did it. Priscilla did it. Chris, I don't know your total backstory, but, a lot of this stuff is very similar. And just because we're all human, we're all raised by our parents. We all went through school. We were all picked on at one point. And we all developed this syndrome where somebody said you couldn't or you shouldn't or you can't, and suddenly you believe that you can't or that you shouldn't. And this is the self-limiting belief that we all have. And so Priscilla has overcome this, this fear, and she's out there. We are expecting Mia to be home from skating. She's at the roller rink right now, any moment, I'm sure. I'm so curious. What do we got here? We got a couple minutes left, and I kind of want to see who's on. Would anybody be interested? Can you do a reading through just like Facebook Live comments, or do they have to be face to face, or have to be speaking to them?
It doesn't have to be face by face, but it's good if I see a face.
I don't think I can bring anybody up on Facebook Live. It's not possible. I'm just curious, guys. double tap, drop a comment if you guys are interested in getting a reading, like right here on the podcast. I would be super interested to know who would be willing to just kind of put themselves out there, and we can kind of communicate via the comments. I wish there was a way to bring you live on this. Maybe we could Yeah,
I know it'd be great to bring
I
them on.
don't know how yet. I'm
I
not
think
that
what we
technically
should
savvy.
do is
Pete Bakeman says sure.
I wonder if we should
Crystal Havens, me now, Mimi,
G
Chris Cannon, sure. Yo,
how long have we been going? Because I'm wondering if we should save it for a next, maybe take some.
we're at an hour 14. How long does the reading take?
I mean, it could take a split second.
Well, let's experiment with that. Let's just let's put it out there, guys. I'm super curious about this. You've got Chris, you've got Crystal, you've got Pete that are saying they'd be willing to do that. Can we communicate via comments and just kind of give it a whirl? Or do you need a separate calm environment? I'm putting you on the spot, and I don't know what your requirements are. I know a lot of times you go and prepare, so I don't even know if this is possible.
All right. So who do you think is a good person?
I'm drawn to Pete because he's got some cute emojis.
Is it our Pete? Do I already know Pete?
No, it's Pete Bakeman. Pete, are you there, bud? Drop us a comment. Say, yo, I'm here, or something like that.
Can I talk to him?
I don't know how you would. I mean, you can comment in there.
Okay. Is he commenting right now?
I don't know. Yep, he said try. There you go.
Okay. All right. Will you be his voice? Oh, gosh. Okay. Pete, what's up, buddy?
He says, I hear you.
Okay. Okay, Pete, do you have a specific area of your life that you want to look at right now?
He said, hey, yo, a second ago. I'm waiting for more comments to come in.
Okay, so I was told that whatever this is like, I don't usually get these, but this is a tougher one. So whatever I say to Pete, he may take it in. He may massively grow. He may admit to it, but
He said professional medical field.
okay. Can I say anything to you? Can we talk openly? Whoever I talk to, it needs to be very, very open. And Pete, since we've talked to you, are you okay with me if I just kind of like be honest 100%?
There's definitely a lag between our Facebook
Okay.
Live and when we're doing this, so I'll tell you as soon as he pops in a comment. He said,
Okay.
absolutely open.
Okay, cool. So there's a pattern of escapism. Do you guys know what escapism is? Escapism is where you kind of don't want to deal with something. So you're like, oh, look over there. It's cheese balls. And it keeps you feeling safe when you're faced with something that's very difficult. So either this is going to be a very positive thing and very helpful, or it's going to be something that is avoided. Pete is either going through or about to go through. I feel like you have already gone through some disappointments. There is an underlying message of abandonment, and withdrawal. So usually when I plug in with somebody, I feel several themes. So it's disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal, and then escapism is kind of the overall theme. Are you married? Are you in a relationship right now? I think this one's more live. You might be able to
Oh yeah,
read that
this
one.
one over here has got like serious, serious.
I wish we could bring him on because it'd be a lot easier if I was. And I don't need him to be here for the.
Been cheated on 3 times in his life.
Okay, yeah. So that's like, that's a pattern.
Said my fiance just left my son and I.
I love you. I'm so sorry.
And I'm scooting over here so I can get these real time comments.
It's gonna take a minute. Right now, I'm just sending you some energy and just wrapping you in this love and comfort and support. So obvious disappointment, obvious possibly a feeling of like, we're good, everything's all right, coupled with moments of like, oh my gosh, I can't even like go on right now.
Says it's been hard as hell.
I can't even fathom. So you may feel compelled to walk away from this disappointing conversation or this disappointing situation, unsure what to do maybe with your child.
He says, you guys have helped me with my life and with the gym.
And this is way deeper. This is like on a level where you're being called to rise up. Definitely, there's happiness that's available to you that you're not tapping into, and you never expected that your life was going to turn out this way. But understand that the only choice is to put this behind you and to move on with your life, even if it brings you sadness, to say goodbye. What does life look like right now? That's the question. You're feeling like there's something missing. I mean, obviously, you told us what was going on, but this is particularly on an emotional and a spiritual level, because this is a pattern that's repeated over and over and over. So instead of waiting around for things to get better, the divine is telling you to leave the unfulfilling situation. It sounds like you have, but you might be considering, how can I get her back? How can I make things work? Let it be. Because you are only able to be in a relationship with somebody that is a vibrational match to how you are right now. And right now, you're saying, I am a person that was cheated on. I am a person that was deserving of this kind of behavior, and you weren't. What went on with your mom and dad before this? What was your dad around?
His last comment says it's repeated 3 times. So I think that was referring to what you were just talking about, though.
Were mom and dad solids in your life, or was there some challenges there? Was that possibly, and it really doesn't even matter where the pattern started. What matters is the moving forward. And understand, right now I am flowing a lot of Reiki energy in your direction, a lot of like peacefulness, a lot of calmness.
So both parents are still together?
Very awesome. Very awesome.
Very close family?
Very good. So right now there's a divine message that you're trying to escape your problematic emotional situation and avoiding some really major psychological issues and concerns.
So Pete said he's the only one in his family that this has been happening to.
Do you believe that you're worthy of more? There's a message that you've been repressing your emotions and refusing to have open conversations with others about what's happened. And I'm really proud of you, and I really honor you for being here with us right now and being honest with us right now. And please understand that you don't have to pretend that everything's okay or avoid the situation, because this is something that you're majorly in a healing process for.
Pete said, I don't get it. Possibly I'm a Marine combat veteran.
There it is. You're too strong to deal with the emotional issues. You're too powerful. You've been taught to fight. You've been taught to stand up. You've been taught to be strong. But the truth of the matter is, this is difficult. This is hard. There's healing, and you're in the process of healing. There's a deeper message that's going to give you a lot of comfort. Ask yourself what brings you joy, what brings you contentment, what brings you fulfillment on a deeper level. More than just getting by, more than just making everything okay. What's he saying?
He says, I fight for what I want.
Yes. Very good. Is it okay with you to let her go? To let your fiance go?
I'd imagine that's a tough question for anybody.
Of course it is. And these are questions you can just be asking yourself.
Yeah, he said 3 years of our lives gone and ripped apart with this last one.
Yes. Yes. And there's
been trying to let it go.
Yeah. And so understand that there's other things.
Very, very hard.
Yeah. And there's things that can bring you joy, contentment, fulfillment on a deeper level that you haven't plugged into yet. And so be open to goals that you want to pursue, because there are things that are available to bring you deep satisfaction in life. So I would jump into this situation by writing down what you want your ideal life to look like.
Let me get into these comments here. Oh, this is a good one. He said, not to mention she's my boss. That's got to be hard.
That's incredible. It's so interesting because sometimes during the sessions, I can feel the energy flowing through me for somebody to help them break through, to help them heal. And it's not so much about the words. Like, the words are not what matters right now. It's just the healing energy and the peace. I feel really compelled right now, G. I feel really compelled to just flow energy and not use words, because I feel like words are just overkill right now.
Yeah, then I'll definitely pick up so that you can continue to work in the background. Let's see. So he says he's almost done with nursing school. Trying to move on, but he's stuck. Man, it sucks that there's such a. I'm sorry, guys. There's such a lag. We've got the phone way over here. It's just barely out of my viewpoint on the computer right here. There's enough lag to be. I'm trying to keep it as updated as possible for everybody.
I just want to ask a favor. Everybody that's listening to this in real time, and anybody that's listening to this in the future, so once it's posted, I just want everybody to take a minute and just send energy to his chest area, and then right below his chest area, which is his solar plexus. And the solar plexus energy center is where we hold our enoughness center. So everybody just send love. I want you to think of something you love so much, like your child or your cat or your cup of coffee in the morning. And just send love right to his heart, right to his solar plexus from the front, and then do the same thing for the back. Having these energy centers unblocked is going to be a major catalyst in helping him move forward in his life and feel the ultimate joy, the ultimate peace, and the ultimate healing that he deserves. Just take a minute and do that. It's the collective consciousness, and please understand anything that I see and anything that I know is available for all of you too, because this is the collective. So whatever flows through me can flow through you, because all of you can be connected to the divine, and it can happen right now.
So as as Priscilla's doing this, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, gosh, man, this is so powerful. It's like I don't want this to stop. Let me check on some of these comments real quick. And for those of you guys listening, this isn't something that we typically do. We're definitely outside of our comfort zones.
I'm feeling something in Pete's, like in his back, in between his shoulders. What's the area right in between your shoulders, your rhomboids?
Yep.
So are you in pain there, like in between your shoulder blades, or like the exact back of your heart?
Latest comments, you guys really do help me out personally. I mean that. The gym has saved my life. Torn rotator cuff. From the corpse. Marine corpse. Sorry.
And then a question to ask yourself is, do I feel the weight of the world on my shoulders? Because sometimes when we heal the emotional aspects that are behind our pain, it'll release itself. And I understand this is like so different. This is like so intense compared to maybe some previous type of healing that you've done or looking at the situation. This is a lot deeper, and we kind of ripped the Band-Aid off. And I think that you needed something a lot more gentle than just kind of putting you out there. I wish we could talk back and forth.
I know it's really, really hard to do it this way.
It is. Well, it's still going to work. It's absolutely still going to work. But
so guys, I mean, this is a very small tip of the iceberg that we're covering right here. I mean, you can definitely see that Priscilla is really, tuned into what's going on with Pete's life, and there's a lot more that can be done. However, in the interest of the podcast and the time and everybody watching, I think what we should do is just kind of pick this up offline with Pete for sure. So Pete, go DM us, buddy. Shoot us a DM. You're waving your hands. I'm not sure what that is.
Oh no, I'm good.
Is that a Reiki thing?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Did I do something wrong?
You know what? I want this work to set in with him for at least 24, 40 hours, and I want to see how he feels after that, and see how his shift feels.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Pete said we could call. The only thing is, I don't know how to hook the phone up to it's hooked up, but it's going into the mic. I don't know if we're going to get a loop back or what.
We're going to get our baby girl home too.
Let's do this
really quick. We
Pete,
can always do a second.
Shoot us a DM with your information on Body Spartan, and we'll get in touch with you that way. Because our kid's about to come home any second, and we're looking at. I don't have the technology here yet. I still haven't. The reason we haven't had any guests on is because I'm stupid when it comes to this kind of technology.
We had it a minute ago.
First couple
100
podcasts we
ago.
did. Yeah, I had it figured out, and then I disconnected it, and I never was able to fucking figure it out again. So I can't believe it's this hard to fucking put the shit on on all this stuff. Definitely, dude. Definitely. Yeah. Pete, thank you so much. I'm looking at your comments. We'll do DMS. We'll finish up there. We just wanted to, basically have a chance to just try to talk to somebody, help somebody. And you can see that, Priscilla's definitely in tune with what's going on. It's an amazing gift. Pete, thank you for being so open and honest with us. We're excited to help you out.
And when we DM, I've got some more positive things to tell you. I don't know why we had to rip the Band-Aid off publicly. And I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be...
direct,
not delicate. That did not feel delicate, and the message did not feel delicate. But I have a lot of really beautiful, exciting, peaceful things to tell you too. So I'm excited to DM.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, just in case you're curious, I dropped Priscilla's availability link. She has some openings. If you are interested in a Reiki reading session, there are a couple of options for you there. Just click the link that's in the comments. I'm also going to edit this. I'm going to put them up top. I'm going to put this link up top in a couple minutes when this goes live and we have a chance to edit the text. I'll put her link up there as well. If you're interested in a Reiki reading, go ahead and try to book some availability. She's very limited in her time.
I opened up my schedule. I finished a few of my hour-long clients and opened up room for Reiki readings because I knew we were going to be doing this. So they will be 15 to 20-minute Reiki readings. They will either be via Facebook messages, which will be private, or if you do not have Facebook, then you would not be listening to this right now, probably, if you're on the podcast. We will figure out something else. But for those of you that are live, we will do Facebook message because it's awesome. You can keep it forever and you can listen to the voicemails. And every time you open the voicemails, it unleashes the Reiki energy, which feels delicious.
Awesome. Well, okay, guys. So I think that's, Pete, glad that you were able to open up and be honest. I'm so thankful that, you were transparent. I'm sure that was hard for you. We're grateful that you shared that with everybody that's listening, that's going to be listening. The podcast, it's going to take a couple days to go live. I'll probably have this up by the weekend, probably go live on Saturday. So you guys are getting the early sneak peek. Thank you, Pete, for your time. Everybody else that's listening, I just want to say thank you. You guys are the reason that we're here. You guys are the reason that we do what we do. And as you can see, we're here to help. I mean, we love you guys. We want you to progress. And if we can make mistakes first, we can find the solution first, we're going to tell you about it. And again, if you are in that zone where you're afraid that you're going to fail, there's something that you want to do, or if you're nervous and worried about what other people think. I mean, we're looking at Priscilla here, the co-founder of Body Spartan, my wife of 17 years, just coming into her own, nervous about what her parents would think, and that being a drawback, or not a drawback, but holding her back from really being who she was meant to be. And once she overcame that, you could see the amazing things that she did on this podcast and what she's out to do now, the person she's becoming. I challenge you guys to step out of your shell this week, to step out of your comfort zone. And I want you to do one thing that gets you out of that comfort zone, that thing that is going to catapult you towards being who you ultimately are. And I want you to just really think about what you want in life, the one thing that you want to do, the person that you want to be. How do you take a massive step and put yourself out there? Is it making a post on Facebook and telling the world exactly what it is that you want to do, the thing that you're let's do that. I'm challenging you guys to post on your social media accounts what it is that you've been afraid to do. And tell the world what it is that you're afraid to do. And like you said, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's just do it and just like be open and honest. You know, I've been nervous to say this. This is what I really want to do. I'm worried about what my parents might think, but you know what? Screw it. I gotta be me. This is who I am. I'm not hiding anymore. This is me being me. That is the challenge for this week, guys. So click on Priscilla's, if you want a Reiki reading, you want a Reiki session with Priscilla, her link's going to be in the, it's in the comments right now. It's going to be in the text above.
You follow me on IG, just click on my bio and schedule in there as well too, because I opened up some special spots.
Which is at Priscilla Tuft. So IG is there. That's really it, guys. I want to leave you on a high note.
We love you.
Yeah, we do. Definitely, guys. And also just want to remind you guys, we have the big Labor Day sale coming this weekend. I'm going to start dumping things at 50% off. Also, we got that 14-day free trial of the All Access Pass. That's every Body Spartan program ever. Everyone to come. Access to the Spartan Army weekly content, the Facebook group, which is private. And man, it is amazing. The encouragement there. It's just like guys on this podcast like Chris Cannon, Scotty, Darren Sliva. I mean, those are the kind of people that you can expect to see in the Facebook group. Crystal, yep, absolutely. Crystal Given, definitely in the Facebook group. I mean, these are the kind of encouraging people that you see. There's thousands and thousands of members in our Facebook group. We're a family. I mean, we're not a company. We're a family. And those people that are in the private Facebook group fully understand that we're about encouragement. We're about building each other up. We're about helping each other succeed in this thing that we call life. And that's going to do it, guys. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
For more free information on fitness, nutrition, and bodybuilding, visit us at www.bodyspartan.com.
Indestructible, undeniable. I'm a man with a plan, understand.